Welcome to Senior Insights. My name is Cynthia. Excuse me if I'm huffing and puffing. I just came in from a walk and the wind was whipping around. It was really quite nice out, but it was a little on the breezy side. So anything really serious like Socrates or Plato or regrets or anything like that, I'm just going to talk about hummingbirds. And hummingbirds, I was notified by a friend of mine, have been spotted in Maine. So if you feed hummingbirds, and if you're interested in feeding hummingbirds, well, then you need to know how to attract hummingbirds. And I suspect most of you do know how to attract hummingbirds. But we'll just have a little refresher course. So in order to attract hummingbirds, you need nectar. And nectar you can make or you can buy. I suggest you make it. I always make it, and everyone I know always makes it, and then you don't have to put that red dye in there. I never put the red dye in. I always have some hummingbirds, so the red dye doesn't do any more to attract them. The feeder is red and yellow, so that works. So basically, it's really very simple. It's 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. So what I do is I do 4 cups of water and 1 cup of sugar. I put it on the stove, boil it. I bring it up to boiling. And now I'm going to let it cool down because I don't want to crack any glass or melt any plastic. But before that, I brought in my hummingbird feeders and I made sure that they were clean. Now in the fall, I always clean them anyway, so they were clean. But you don't know what accumulates, and they always have mold in them anyway. So what I did was I cleaned any visible stuff that I could see. I tried to reach inside some of them, but one of them was really small. So, it's kind of hard to do. It's hard to clean the inside really well unless you use soap and water and shake it up and down and stuff, but then you have to make sure that you rinse it really, really well. So what I did was I let them soak in boiling water for about 10 minutes. A glass one and a plastic one. So the plastic one, what I did was I threw in some hot water and then I shook it up real quick. I didn't throw in a lot. And then I threw in cold water right away. So I don't know if it did anything or not. But I was satisfied that I had tried my best to clean the hummingbird feeders. So meanwhile, the water is simmering on the stove or boiling, and I shut that off and I bring it over to the counter and I pour the nectar into the containers. I used a funnel. There's one hummingbird feeder hanging. I put the other shepherd's hook, I put the other small hummingbird feeder on this small shepherd's hook. I've never hung them that low, but I'm curious to see what happens. I mean, they go to plants and everything. I'm sorry you have to see that bucket there, but it is what it is, I guess. I want you to see the hummingbird feeder. So if you have a water like a fountain that makes a trickling sound, the hummingbirds love that. They also like shallow bird baths with rocks on them. And they're very territorial, so it's a good thing to have more than one because they will fight each other. And I've seen many hummingbird fights at my feeders. So I have 2, and they're not located close to each other. I'm doing another experiment. I do experiments every day. Doing experiments means I do it my way, not the recommended way. But I hung the smaller feeder lower, much lower than I usually do, so it will be interesting to see if that has any effect or not. There was one thing that I didn't tell you about, or a couple of things. Now you can use regular sugar. You should not use honey. You shouldn't use maple syrup. You shouldn't use artificial sweetener. It should be sugar because any other thing is detrimental to the to the hummingbirds, and you want to follow this recipe because any deviation from it, you know, they may get not enough nourishment from it or whatever. This is calculated to kind of fit what they would get if they were sucking on the nectar of a flower. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and talk to me about your hummingbirds. How do you attract them in your yard?